With the leaf of the tobacco, like when you look into the package, when you buy your package and you get it, there's certain package that will be juicier than the rest. There's certain ones that are not as juicy, and it's it's a plant. The tobacco leaf is a plant. It absorbs things. That's why we used to need acclimation, because it will absorb just the moisture in the air. Or even if you smoke it in the area where let's say if you're smoking in your garage and you leave it next to paint thinners, and you're gonna get the flavor of paint thinner in it. It's absorbing from the air. That's why when people put it in the refrigerator, we've told so many people not to put it in the refrigerator because it will absorb the smell of the food.
Yeah.
People do this all the time, and then they tell us, it's like, well, you messed up. You did something wrong here. No, don't put it in your fridge. Put it somewhere else. Put it where you're gonna smoke it at. That's generally where we tell you to put it. Just put it where you're gonna smoke at, because then it will get used to the area. So let's say if you're smoking in your living room, you leave it in your living room. Kind of absorbs the smell in there, but then it'll stay where it needs to be. But if you put it into your refrigerator, or you put it into your garage next to things that smell, it'll absorb the smell. That's why the bag, sometimes the tobacco doesn't absorb everything right away.
Because it depends on the size of the leaf.
Exactly. So it won't absorb all of it right away. Or if you do like a big cut, it will absorb like too much, and then it would. That's why we try to keep our tobacco as uniform as possible, so we get an even distribution of absorption. That's why we always recommend whenever people contact us to troubleshoot, we always ask people, what kind of environment are you in?
Yeah.
Did you recently move? Did you change where you're smoking at? I used to smoke in a garage all the time, but we had a section where the tobacco was, and it was away from everything else. And then some people will move from, they move from the garage because it's so cold in there, and then they move inside. And then they move inside, and it's hot, and now they put on the fan or the air conditioning.
Yeah, Tess told me about the story about one guy. You have 4 hours or 6 hours to figure out what happened, and you figured out they have the
ceiling fan going.
Yeah.
And they're like, it doesn't smoke the same. It's like, well, obviously, because you have the ceiling. But we had to ask him all these little tiny questions. What did you do? What's different? Nothing's different. Well, something has to be different. And it took us forever to troubleshoot that. Like, they had the ceiling fan going, and it's heating up the coals even more. And then now, coals and heat and how much heat to put on the coal, it's a lot more. It's a lot more to talk about.
Okay, another subject. Flavor versus heat. What you can tell?
So that's one of the most important things. So a lot of people, depending on how they like to smoke, and it depends